Okay, let's just get right to it. Will an AI fly your next plane? I know it sounds like something straight out of a sci fi movie, but this question is getting more and more real every single day. So today, we're going to break it all down and figure out if the person in the cockpit is, even going to be a person for much longer. I mean, it's a little bit of an unnerving thought, right? Think about it. We put our absolute trust in human pilots, 35,000 feet up in the air. But with AI getting so much smarter, so fast, you kind of have to wonder, is the captain's seat the next job to get checked off the automation list? All right, so to really get a grip on where this is all going, let's start by looking at the case for having an AI pilot. And honestly, you might be pretty surprised by just how strong that argument actually is. Okay, first things first. A fully autonomous plane? It's really not the giant leap you might think it is. The truth is, your flight is already super automated. You've got the autopilot handling the cruise phase. You've got flight management systems calculating the best route and fuel. I mean, computers are already doing most of the heavy lifting. Believe it or not, on a typical flight, pilots only spend a few minutes actually, manually flying the plane. Most of the time, they're really just managing the systems that are doing the flying for them. And this slide, well, it really cuts to the core of the whole performance argument. Look, human pilots are amazing, but they're still human, right? They get tired, they get stressed, they can get completely overwhelmed. An AI, though, it never gets tired. It's totally immune to emotion, and it can monitor every single system on the plane all at the same time, all the time. When you just look at the raw data, the machine has a seriously clear advantage. But, beyond pure performance, there's an even bigger, more powerful driver here, and that's money. Let's be honest, the airline industry is a tough business with razor-thin margins, so the chance to cut crew costs, make scheduling easier, and just fly planes more efficiently, that creates this almost irresistible pull towards automation. You really can't ignore the financial pressure. It's a massive part of this whole conversation. Okay, so if the case for AI is so strong, why are there still two human beings in every single cockpit? Well, this is where the story gets a whole lot more complicated. Because for all of its incredible strengths, technology just can't account for one absolutely crucial thing, the human factor. Really, the biggest argument against AI pilots boils down to this one simple concept. Aviation is what's called an open system. So what does that even mean? Well, think about it this way. AI is amazing at closed systems, like a game of chess, right? The rules are fixed, the board is set, every possibility is kind of known. But the sky is not a chessboard. It is a completely dynamic, unpredictable world where literally anything can happen. And in the real world, that open system means pilots are constantly up against stuff you just can't program for. We're talking about sudden, violent weather popping up out of nowhere, system alerts that are confusing or even contradict each other, or, some bizarre one-in-a-million combination of failures that has never, ever happened before. In those moments, you don't need a program. You need judgment. And this quote right here, man, it gets right to the heart of the whole problem. See, AI learns from data it's been fed, but the absolute most dangerous situations in flying are often the ones that have never happened before, those black swan events. A human pilot? They can tap into a lifetime of experience, creativity, and just pure intuition to invent a solution on the spot. An AI just can't do that. And look, even if the tech was absolutely perfect tomorrow, we would still slam into these three massive walls. First, the legal side. Who's legally on the hook when an AI plane crashes? Then there's certification. How in the world do regulators approve a black box AI when we don't fully understand how it makes its decisions? And maybe the biggest one of all, public trust. I mean, be honest, would you get on a plane with an empty cockpit? That's a huge, huge barrier. So, okay, you've got these powerful forces pulling in completely opposite directions. What does the future actually look like then? Well, it's definitely not going to be a sudden replacement. It's going to be a slow, gradual evolution. So a realistic timeline, it probably looks something like this. In the short term, say the next 10 years, think of AI as a really advanced assistant. Pilots are still absolutely essential. Then as we move into the medium term, maybe 10 to 30 years out, we might see smaller crews with AI stepping in as a kind of virtual co-pilot. And then way, way down the road, we're talking 30, 50 years or more, full autonomy might become technically possible. But, and this is a big but, it's almost certainly going to start with cargo planes first, not passenger jets. And all of this really brings us to the main takeaway of this whole explainer. The future isn't some kind of battle for who gets to control the cockpit. It's about building a totally new kind of partnership. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. We have to shift the conversation away from pilot versus AI. That's the wrong way to look at it. The safest, most realistic future is pilot plus AI. It's all about combining the amazing and unique strengths of both the human and the machine. The goal that everyone, airlines, manufacturers, regulators, is really aiming for is something called human-centered automation. And all that really means is designing tech that supports and boosts the pilot's ability to make great decisions, especially when things get stressful. The key is to help them, not try to replace them. And at the end of the day, it really comes down to this. AI is absolutely brilliant at crunching numbers and optimizing things. But pilots, they provide judgment, the ability to adapt, and, this is critical, that all-important sense of legal and ethical responsibility. And for the foreseeable future, that's just irreplaceable. So let's wrap this up by looking at our original question in a new light. The real debate isn't if AI is going to change the cockpit. I mean, that's already happening. The real question, the one we should all be asking, is how are we going to manage this incredible new partnership between human and machine to make flying safer than it has ever been before?